I'm Adam Gorney. This is John Garcia Jr. We're talking Big Ten football with national recruiting analyst Greg Smith. And Greg, Ohio State dominates again, has a phenomenal class. The only team in the Big Ten with multiple five stars: J.J. Smith, Aaron Nolan, Edric Houston. They go south for all of them. What does it mean for the Buckeyes, and what it means for the rest of the Big Ten as well?
Yeah, it really shows once again that the Buckeyes continue to be the class of the Big Ten when it comes to recruiting, and that they continue to do a great job really recruiting nationally. Like it's a team that they could just cherry pick all the best kids in the Midwest and be totally fine and be good, but they don't. They decide to go outside of the Midwest quite a bit, and this has been a consistent thing with them. I'm curious if that starts to change as we move forward here, especially some of those kids that have been going to Michigan. But they are really the class of the conference and continue to flex their muscles again on the recruiting trail, even as people were down on them at the end of the season.
Greg, Nebraska's got a top 20 group, and of course the headliners, Dylan Raiola. Just what are the expectations here? I mean, could it just be, hey, here are the keys to the castle, go turn everything around individually? What really could we expect from the five-star quarterback?
It'll be fascinating to see, because I think on one hand, I think that Nebraska fans will tell you that the ceiling is the roof, right? And that the expectations are sky high, and they want him to win a Heisman as soon as possible. I think the realistic situation here is that he is going to get the keys. Like, make no mistake about that. He'll be the starting quarterback. But I think that if he manages the game, takes a page out of Brock Purdy's playbook, at least for his freshman season, and just kind of keeps them moving along, you think about how close Nebraska was to kind of breaking through that bowl list streak that they had this season. They almost broke through that with very subpar quarterback play. If he can just be average in his first year, they'll take a leap forward. So that's where kind of I think the baseline should start for Dylan Raiola in year one.
Michigan won the national championship. That's always going to help recruiting, but they lost an iconic coach, and they're dealing with an NCAA investigation that continues to drag on. How did they have so much stability in this recruiting class? Didn't really have guys go portal, didn't really have guys of any significance decommit. What does that mean about the Wolverines and what they can do under Shromore?
Yeah, it really shows you what they've done, something kind of unique in college football, and that even though they had, like you said, an iconic coach, those players that were coming in, they liked him and they were tied to him, but they also were so bought into just the Michigan way and how they do things as a whole at the school, right? And so we talk so much now about, kids not committing to the school or committing to the coach. I feel like a lot of these Michigan kids just love Michigan, right? And it helps that they kept Sharon Moore in the fold, and he's the guy that took over the program because he did such a great job of helping to recruit so many of these kids, especially on the offensive side of the ball, as the former offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. So that helped with continuity as well. And so I just think that it helps that so many of those kids were pro-Michigan to begin with, and they really have found a way to keep those guys together. It's like the opposite of what you saw down south at Alabama. It's really a unique situation.
All right, that is Greg Smith, national recruiting analyst. Stay tuned to Rivals.com all day for signing day coverage and more Big Ten coverage.